Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Mel Show Podcast. Tonight, we are joined by a very special guest, a good friend of mine, an absolutely amazing human being. If you've ever seen her streams, they're always an adventure and always a good time. She's one of the most positive people I know. I'd like to present to you the one, the only, the wonderful Danica Rockwood.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. So, Danica, we've met over the internet. Obviously, we met at Twitch PAX East last year, and I just I stumbled. Actually, I came across your channel because I do a lot of model builds, and you were actually working with at the time I think it was foam, and you were building a foam replica weapon for one of your cosplays. And since then, I've just been coming over, and I learned a lot about watching about different construction materials for building things from your channel. So, what I'm just want to give the floor to you and let you talk about things because I know when you do panels at cons, it's usually the same questions. What's some of the things that you'd like people to know about you, about cosplay, about like how you build your costumes and where your ideas come from?
Most cosplayers, and I myself included, don't know what the hell they're doing. So most of us are doing exactly what you probably have seen me personally do on stream, where I'm just like, I'm not really quite sure how to do this, but it's okay, I'll figure it out. And I think a lot of people who watch other cosplayers, like on Instagram or Twitter and stuff, I think that they just think that they know exactly what they're doing the entire time. And most of it is trial and error, and it's not perfect every time. We just don't show each other our flaws and our fails, but I actually really enjoy showing that on the channel because there's been several times where you guys have been relatively invested in something that I'm building, and then I can just sit there and just absolutely just destroy it and restart from scratch, and some of you guys are like, oh my god. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about cosplay, is that many people come to me asking, I want to do this character, but I'm scared of how it's actually going to turn out, and I don't think it's going to look the way I want it to. That's probably is exactly what's going to happen, because that's how it always happens. And then you fix it, and then you rebuild it. I'm constantly rebuilding everything I've done. I have redone my Morrigan cosplay at least 4 or 5 times, and I still don't like it. And I'm planning on redoing it again. Not the one that I had made, the Hannah Alexander design. I really like that one. That one was awesome. But like her actual like original design from Dragon Age. And I think that that is a thing that most people, even like YouTubers that I watch, like there's this nail art lady. Her name is Simply Nailogical. She's absolutely amazing. She does nail art tutorials for the most part. She's kind of strayed away from that a little bit, but she has shown her fails. And that is the thing that I love the most, is when someone's doing a tutorial and they show you what didn't work and then they learn from it. And that just, there's this culture and this illusion that people think that they have to only show their successes. And I like it when people see the fails, and it's just like the work behind it that goes into cosplay. And I don't think that gets enough attention. I think people just assume everything is perfect all the time.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a good point. And I do have to say that's one of the things that I actually really enjoy about that is, watching the creative process, because, nothing is perfect as we do things. Nothing ever really goes according to plan 100%. You always have to improvise and try to create new things.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, the next thing I wanted to go into is, what about cons? What do you like? What are some con stories that you have? I know you do a lot of different cons, and
Yeah.
I know that during the year at times you feel sometimes. I know with the streaming, actually, let's deal with this actually with streaming.
Okay.
And I know it really kind of a lot of times it comes across on the stream as when you have to travel a lot, and I know that there's a certain amount of like anguish that you go through when you have
Yeah.
to leave your community. Talk about like a little bit about that, like because I know you're very in touch with your community to a very large extent, and I know we all appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I know, talk about like from your perspective, like because I've seen that.
It's so like I like streaming a lot. I do love streaming a lot, and the thing that I love the most about it is I get to be at home, because I'm never at home. When I'm in my area, I'm comfortable, which is why when we do the no swear streams that we roll on the wheel when we hit our sub goal, and I have to not swear, Like, I have the ability to not swear. Like, but when I'm at home, I'm comfortable. I'm in my area. This is my zone. So like, I just relax and get to do whatever I want to do. And when I'm at a con, like, the thing that people don't understand about touring or traveling is that it is draining on your entire soul. Just to leave to do a 13 to 16 hour day, barely eating enough food, barely getting enough sleep, and just traveling constantly, and like getting in a plane, being cramped, flying on red eyes just to get there to the con. And the sometimes there's moments where I'm at a con, like I'm booked, and they literally don't fly me in the day before, they fly me in day of, so I have to get off the freaking plane. I can't check into my hotel room yet, so I have to get dressed in the hotel lobby bathroom and then head to the con. And by the time the con's done, I have to take all my bags from concierge, bring it up to my room after I just did a 16-hour day traveling across the country for an event. But I get to meet you guys, and that's the coolest part of all. And the fact that I get to put most of my the viewers that are in here to like their faces to their names is amazing. Like, I've met Dragon several times. I've hung out with him. I've met you. I've met Unit, and he's in Mexico. I've met Monkey, who is in Vancouver. I've met I'm Just a God, who's in Boston. I've met so many viewers all over the world. And I think what that does for the channel is that allows a better relationship and understanding of each other. And I think I'm very lucky, because not many streamers can turn around and say that they've actually met a giant chunk of their viewers and have had full-flown conversations with them, other than like the, quick hi and bye kind of thing. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, that was one of the things about the con, especially PAX, because I know you were there working as well as you were also there as a streamer as well, because I know
Yeah.
as a partnered streamer, there was some things that partnered streamers got, like the streamer party and things like that. But
Yeah.
also, just there was a lot more for the partners to do at the con, as opposed to just.
I never do those things.
Well,
I never really do the partner things. I mean, I did when I like, so my best friend is Devin, and Devin was at one time a diehard Twitch partner. Like, she was like, I'm gonna stream until I'm 60, and she was like all about the partner stuff, all about the parties and everything. And then I'm like, hey, I already partied enough, like, I don't want. And then I got partnered, and she was like, you have to go to all these things. And I went, and I was like, I don't like all of these things. And then and then like, I've gone because somebody else is there. Like, I've gone because like one of my friends is like, we gotta go, and I'm like, okay. But then like, I will never go because I want to. I go because a friend that I'm with is like, I'm going. And like Goobs and Dan, Domestic Dan, all of them are just like, obligations. And then we're just like, let's just go together and just drink and just be pieces of shit. And then it's like what we do, but we never stay the whole time. Like, it's not that fun. It's a bunch of pooping back and forth between people. It's like there's so much like lame networking and cliches going on at those things. It's just, people don't usually approach you as like a person sometimes at those events. Like, it's kind of annoying, actually. Like, you'll go, like, I noticed there's a difference between a Twitch partner and a regular attendee. Complete different treatment, and it's insane. Like, I had it was like TwitchCon. So like, you have those badges and it says like Twitch partner, affiliate, or just like community member or something. Like, they all have different, like, well, you've been to TwitchCon, right?
I haven't personally been to TwitchCon yet.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry.
I've seen a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so the badges, they have like a purple one for partner, and I think they have like a teal one or something for affiliate, and then they have like a green one if you're like a community member or a viewer or something. And I believe they have different ones for mods. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. But I noticed that people would like look over and see what color your badge is, and then they'd walk up straight up to you if you were a partner and be like, oh, hey, do you want a thing? Do you want to come over here and do this thing? Do you want to promo me? I'm like, you don't even know who I am. Like, you don't know me. You just saw partner. You just walked over. It's kind of lame, and I don't like it. And especially when you get people that come over to like me and they're like, do you want to stream our game? And like, you've seen our channel. You've seen with the content. I'm not a gaming streamer. And so I'm like, what? It's silly though. But yeah, I'm not really about the partner stuff. Usually I just like, I like the community, and I like, the relationships between, like everybody in the channel. Like we all like banter back and forth. It's like you're hanging out with your best friends. It's awesome. Like I don't need to feel cool.
Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And well, I think the other thing is your community is such a tight community that weren't they working with each other to get each other rooms when they were going to conventions and things?
Yeah. I wasn't even invited to some of your dinners you guys got together. I mean, people like got together and they stayed in like hotel rooms together, and then some of you guys are planning like vacations together, and then like nobody, like I didn't know, like Ziggly, who's one of the mods, he got me a ticket to go to the Winchester House in San Jose, where TwitchCon was at. And he pulled some of the community members together and got them tickets too. And when I was meeting them to go to the event, they're like, meet us at this hotel room. And I was like, okay, fine. So like I showed up, and there was like Wrecking It and freaking Katira and like all these other people that are from the channel just like in the hotel room, crashing on the floor and the beds and in the bathroom. And they're just like, oh, hey, yeah, we all pulled together. By the way, Shadow's here, and Shadow got a passport for the first time to come to the United States, and he's just crashing with us. Like he got a passport specifically to come over, and we're gonna go to Disney World with him after this is done. I was like, what? That's so cool. I didn't even know they were planning that. And like that was awesome. People have been coming over to me being like, I've like saying that they have developed better friendships with other people, and that they usually have a tough time making friends in person. And now that they have like really good friends now, and they have someone to game with, and they have someone to hang out with, and I think that's freaking cool. That's awesome. What? I cried like so many times at TwitchCon over that.
I think that's personally, I think that's a testament to the content creator. Like you put out such a good vibe without blowing smoke up your butt. You put out such a good vibe that a lot of people, I think, kind of the people that are in the community tend to like emulate that, and then they tend to become like I've personally become friends with JMB and a few other people because of just literally because of that. And just people I've met in your stream, like I see them, and of course with the community nights you have, like that's a thing. Community night, gaming night, like gaming night is a huge thing. We have a lot of fun there, and I think as far as community nights go for streamers that do community, like literally this is a stream thing, but like the community nights you put together, what was like again? Was that did that just come from a place of wanting to hang out with your community, get to know people, or how did that come to be? Same thing with like kind of like to the lesser extent, like the media nights where you might like watch the stuff together and things like that.
They're saying that your mic might be a little bit low.
Sorry.
Okay, is that better, guys?
Is that better? I know if I get far back, I'll stay on the mic a little bit more.
That was a cool sound.
Sorry. Yeah, the mic.
No, I didn't know what that was. That sounded really cool. All right. So the movie nights and game nights started because when I made a Patreon with David, my photographer, I decided that, so the biggest problem with Patreon for David and I when we started it was for about an entire month, him and I met up on Skype and in person constantly, like every day, and we brainstormed ideas and rewards that we could give to people. And at the end of our decisions, we just constantly could not think, like we couldn't agree on what we were giving was practically enough. Because with Patreon, you need to put in the time and effort into it. It needs to become your actual job. And then we decided that we wanted to give rewards back to people that were like, I can't really explain it in my own words like that well. We couldn't find something that would justify the amount of support by giving in a reward. We were like, what do you want? Like, we felt really bad. We were like, we're just going to give you a poster for helping us have this as a full-time career. You just get a fucking poster. Like, you didn't think that was something that would honestly make it worthwhile. But we needed to monitor the fact that we weren't spending most of our profits into our reward system. So we were like, it shouldn't cost us an arm and a leg to thank our backers for for stuff. Like, we're working on it still, like stickers and magnets and other things that people give out is cool and all. I'm not going to crap on those people because I've even considered doing something like that, but it's just, that's going to cost us. And the money that we could use for those things could be back into equipment and costuming materials. So I was like, what can I give back that isn't going to cost me too much annually and is going to allow the community to be closer and tighter knit? And we decided to have movie nights and game nights. When we first started game nights, they were actually for only the top tier backers. And then I noticed that not many of the top tier backers were in the same time zone. So some of them were staying up way too late, way too early, and getting up way too early, and it wasn't working out. And then sometimes it would only be me and one person playing a video game, and we would play like Star Wars Battlefront or something. And then this specific person started to get way too attached to having game nights with just me, and he got possessive. And when we started having other people join in, he got mad. And so David and I were like, no. We need to can this ego down. It can't be a one-on-one game night session. So let's open it up to way more people. And we did. And then it turned into, how about let's open it up for Twitch subs too? So now we can have so many more people in there. And that's actually how a lot of people got to know each other better. It was from the humors that we all mix and match well with on game nights. So we do try to play games that are like Jackbox. Like, if one person has the game, everyone can play it. Or like Scribble is like free. Or like, we try to find games that are like Fortnite, unfortunately. It's free. So we were like, okay, here, we'll play this. And so that's why we do that. And then movie night is, I used to host movie night, and David was really angry about it because he wanted control, because he wanted to watch all the new stuff that's not even out in DVD yet. And so I was like, fine, then you have it. So then we also we rotate days on purpose. I know some people can't make it to movie night, some people can't make it to game night, but every other Monday seems to work. Every other Wednesday seems to work for movie night and then game night, because I don't know, it just seems to work for more people. Because if you are always working on a Monday shift, you will have a Wednesday day to do a movie night with us or something. So it's like, it was just really hard to split up the times. And we tried so many other things. Like, we tried live streaming, like private live streams, and that was garbage because only one person would ever show up. Then our mic wasn't working and they'd never tell us, and we didn't know. So we were just like sitting there, just like wondering. And we noticed that whenever we tried to do live streams on for Patreon, that it actually took up so much time. We got none of our content making stuff done. Like, we literally got nothing done. So like, we had to fine tune some things before we found out what we could get the most benefit out of our Patreon, and what actually like hindered our growth, like by trying to reward so many people. Because that was me and David's problem, was we were too like, what do they get out of it, like the whole entire time. And now we had to be a little bit more selfish and be like, no, this platform is to support our growth as artists. It's not supposed to be like a store. We're supposed to, give thanks. And then, it's making a Patreon and putting value on yourself, period, is just difficult.
I can imagine.
Yes.
So, I guess, all right, so I want to jump a little bit to the cosplay. Now,
Yeah.
I know you've told the origin story of how you kind of got started before, but let me ask you a different question. Now, I know you probably,
Okay.
what are some of your favorite pieces that you've worked on? Some of the best, the ones that you've, I guess, have a more personal relationship with? Like, from a personal
Now,
level, what was more rewarding for you?
um, It's not a great costume, but I think my Quiet from Metal Gear, even though I literally just bought everything, the reason why I like it so much, even though she's not the greatest character of all time, my brother was watching one of the E3 games, E3 game conferences, and the only one, whatever. And so he called me on the phone and he goes, like, if you know what Quiet's outfit looks like from Metal Gear, she's like not wearing much at all. So he like called me on the phone and he goes, I fucking hate it. There's this character coming out in Metal Gear and her name's Quiet and she looks like you. And I gotta put clothes on her when I play this game. Like, I can't look at this character because that's just my sister. And I was like, that's funny. And so I decided I was going to cosplay her because it freaked my brother out. But also, Metal Gear has been a series that my brother and I grew up together with playing. Like, I watched my brother play Metal Gear, and I never played it myself. I just watched him do it, and I followed the story from there. And it was kind of fun because now my brother and I are older. We don't live together anymore. And I didn't get a chance to watch, him play Phantom Pain. So it was kind of like a thing where we were just like long distance being like, hey, Metal Gear. And I was like, okay. So like, that's something from my childhood. And also Hideo Kojima like retweeted me, and like that's part of like where I got a little bit of the following I got was from that momentum. And Konami like retweeted all my stuff, and like I got posted on all of their official pages. And Stephanie Houston was just like, what the hell? Like, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I really liked that. Was kind of fun. That's a more personal one, even though the costume literally is just military surplus store stuff. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it necessarily. I mean, I would have to say I don't really because the costume we were just recently working on to go to the Ren Faire.
Yeah,
you said that. I mean, that was.
Don't care, Ren Faire. That's what we kept saying the entire time.
I mean, that was just you were. I know you were just having fun making that. And
whatever.
But I mean, that was.
I had like several people in my industry that are like well-known crafters come into the stream, and they've never been in here before, and they're like, "Yo, Danica, what up?" And I'm like, "Why are you? Why this one? Why are you here with the hot glue gun? Why?" And they're just like, hey, "You okay?" I'm like, But yeah, no, it can be fun. The costuming doesn't have to be like, I weaved my own fabric and harvested the silk from my own silk caterpillars. Like, nothing like that. You can't do that. That's crazy.
No, that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
That would be a little extreme. That was true. I remember that. Oh man. Let's see. Well, now here's one thing. Okay, now going back to the conventions a bit. What is what guests that you've been there with? What are some of the most memorable guests?
Jennifer Hale. I love her. I have so many good stories.
The floor is yours.
Okay. There's been a lot of really cool guests. I found out. So the other day I was talking on the channel, and I was just like, you know what? I've never guested alongside David Tennant in my life. I've guested aside almost all the characters from Doctor Who. David Tennant's going to be at MegaCon, and I'm going to be at MegaCon. So I'm like, I just found out like last night, and I'm like, oh, what? So I'm pretty excited. I'm probably not going to meet him. Just the fact that I'm breathing the same recycled air inside the central AC building with David Tennant is just all I need. That's cool. I think the funniest thing, there's so many good ones though, but I think the funnier one was I was at MegaCon as a guest, and it was on a Thursday, and that's day 0. So you arrive to the con, change in the hotel lobby bathroom, like I just said earlier, and then you show up to the con, and you're a little bit frustrated because it's hot, it's Florida, it's gross, it's nasty. You were sitting in back-to-back traffic. You don't know how to park near the event. It's garbage to get there. I'm also dressed as Catwoman. And so, like, the bodysuit does not breathe, and I'm sweating, and I can feel the sweat going down my butt and pooling into my freaking shoes. Like, I swear, it's nasty. It doesn't feel good at all. And this guy comes over to my table, and it was close to the end of the day, so everybody's just chilling and being kind of tired. So I actually had my hand like this on my face, and I was just like, really, like, whatever. And this guy is just flipping through my portfolio book full of all my costumes, and he's like, this is really good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. And then he gets to Elizabeth from BioShock, and he goes, oh, I really like this one. And he like points to Elizabeth, and I'm like, oh, cool. And I even asked him, like, I'm so tired. I was being kind of mean. And I was like, did you play BioShock? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then he keeps slipping through, and then he, like, everybody, there's like a line forming behind my table, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, whatever, I gotta get to my line. This guy's just sitting here chilling. He's just kind of being rude and taking up space, like he's overstayed his welcome. Like, he's here for a long time. He should probably move on now. Like, he wasn't even, like, it didn't look like he was gonna buy anything, which I don't do that. I don't do this to people. I was just genuinely tired. And I was like, these people have been waiting, and he's just taking all of his own time. And so I look at the guy that's behind him in line. I was like, do you want to come up? And he goes, no. And I was like, okay. And then the guy leaves, and like fucks right off and leaves. And then people in line come up. They go, oh my God, you know him? I'm like, no. And they're like, that's Troy Baker. And I was like, what? That wasn't Troy Baker. And I laugh at them for thinking that. And I'm like, that's not Troy Baker. I know what Troy Baker looks like. And they grab the brochure and they point to the picture. And I was like, oh, he got a haircut. Oh, he cut his hair. Oh my God, I asked him if he's played BioShock. Oh, and they all were like, what is your fucking problem? And I was like, oh. And I was just like, I would have known if that was Troy Baker. Like, oh my God. My bad. Don't do that. I've also I met Bastila Sean, which is voice actor, the character for whatever. Jennifer Hale voice acted her is what I'm trying to say. And I went and I met her, and I was really upset because she didn't have a line. And there was another person that was there, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't particularly respect that person, because they had a longer line than Jennifer Hale did, and they didn't deserve it. And I didn't think they deserved it at all compared to what is Jennifer Hale. Like, she is a goddess. She's voice acted so many things from my childhood. She's amazing. And the fact that this other person had a line out the ass compared to her? Are you kidding me? Whatever. All right. So anyway, she had literally no one at her booth. I couldn't believe it. So John Gray's with me. And he's just like, you need to go say hi. I'm like, no. He goes, you need to go say hi. And I'm like, I can't. And then he was like, all right, just go. So like, we walk up to her table, and I'm like completely not knowing what to say. And then John Gray goes, she cosplays Bastila Sean. And then Jennifer Hale's like all excited, and she's like, oh, you do? I want to see pictures. And I was like, no, it's cool. And she's like, I want to see. And so then I show her a picture, and she's like really excited, and she's asking me questions. And as she's asking me questions, like tears start forming in my eyes. And I'm like, I can't talk. And then she turns around and she asks if I'd like a photo. And then John Gray pays her, like, no, I give her a $20 bill. She charges for photos. So I take a picture with her, and I handed her 20, and then I go to turn around to leave. And as I'm leaving, her manager goes, hey, do you want your change? And the second I turned around, I started bawling. And then I didn't want the guy to see that I was crying. So I just ran. And then when I ran, someone stopped me and was like, Danica, oh my God, I love your cosplay. Can I take a picture with you? And I was just crying, and I was like, yeah. And so I photo with someone. I was just crying like down my face. I was like, yeah. They're like, what the hell? I was like, all right, yeah, fine. So I also the voice actor for Liara Tassoni and Jennifer Hale was also at the fan expo shows that I did last year, and they were touring with me too. And I have a Liara print. So I had so many people come up to my table throughout the entire year of touring with Fan Expo that I told them, I was like, guys, if you buy this Liara print, the voice actor for Liara is actually here. So you could go over there and get it signed by her too. So it's double whammy. And I also have like a boudoir female shepherd picture. And I told them, I was like, and Jennifer Hill will sign this one, and you can have the voice actor and me sign it. And David was there too. So triple whammy. You get everybody who was involved. And so every other month for an entire year, Jennifer Hale and this other voice actor were getting pictures of me that they had to sign. And they were like, who is this girl? Because when they sign something, they make $15. So I was making them money by doing that. And one of the staff members came over and they're like, Danica, they want to meet you. And I was like, absolutely not. And they were like, what? And I was like, no way. I am not meeting them. So I still have yet to say anything to them because I will cry. And so, yeah, that's something I did. So I guess they weren't expecting that. I was like, nope, just make the money. Like, there you go over there. Those are all the stories I can think of. Probably more, but I don't know.
That's fine. First of all, can you still hear me? Am I coming through?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I think, all right. John Gray is an interesting part of your stream.
Yeah.
This is something, now you've done, let's see, what is it? Troom pranks on him?
Yeah.
And you've done a lot. So tell us, what was some of the most memorable, there was also the makeover of John Gray that you did earlier last year, which was fantastic. What were some of the most, because he's a very good sport about everything. What were some of the most memorable things that you've involved John Gray in?
On stream or?
Well, on stream and off stream, like stuff that's really just funny. And then we'll give you a chance to plug, because I know he's got some stuff coming up. So we'll definitely plug for him at the end.
I think the most memorable thing on stream was when we raised the money to get the mobile laptop set up for when I'm at David's and I'm shooting, I can still stream from his house. The most memorable thing was getting him to come out and dance in a hot dog suit. But the thing that you guys didn't know is that John Gray had the flu. So he had the flu and he got it that week, and I was like, if we hit our goal, you gotta dance in the hot dog suit. And he was just like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. So then he turned around and was like, you know what? I'll still do it. If I'm sick, like, I'll still do it. And so we streamed from 6, and I think we hit our goal like at like 2 or 3 in the morning almost or so. And John Gray was asleep, and I came in the bedroom and I was like, hey, you promised. And he got up and was like, yep, I'm doing it. And so like he got out and just danced in the hot dog suit real quick, and then he went back in and laid down and went back to bed. And I felt really happy that he did that. I can't believe he actually did that. This one thing, he hasn't even done it yet, but he doesn't really know what Animal Crossing is. Like, he's seen me play it a couple times, and when the new one comes out, I'm sure as hell gonna like make him play it. But I just randomly asked him, I was like, hey, I want to do an Isabelle cosplay from Animal Crossing. And he was just like, okay. And then I'm like, can you be Tota KK for me, please? Can you wear these dog ears and then this white shirt and these jeans, and I paint your face like a dog, and then you can play guitar for everybody? And he's like, all right. And I'm like, yay! So he's probably gonna do that, and I think that was really just like, he has no idea what this game is, and he's like, all right. I'm like, okay, cool. But the Tiffany thing, he genuinely wanted me to do that, like 100%, like wanted me to do that. He's in a Misfits cover band, and the lead singer has a lot of makeup on. And they were gonna do like a drag performance, and so he wanted me to put makeup on him anyway. And so it was like, hey, might as well for stream. because you get that out of the way. So like he was totally for it. In fact, I actually had to do his makeup off stream several times after that because he needed promo photos for his event. He needed the other things for his event, so I had to keep putting makeup on him. And he's a good sport about it. He's in a professional soul band, like a soul funk revival kind of band, and I think there's like 10 members in there. And right now they've been trying to fine tune their streams, and right now they're trying to get their sound quality perfect. They said it's not quite there yet. They were supposed to stream on Wednesday, but they didn't. They were going to stream tonight, but their key player is not here. So I was like, okay, we'll just try and stream without him and see, like, get all those technical difficulties out of the way. But I don't know what's going on with that. But they played Gasparilla, which is a big event in South Florida, down here in Tampa. And they've been doing really, really well, actually. They just did a music video with David, actually. And they're releasing their EP soon. And they're going to this, I don't remember the name of it, but they got an email to be booked at this like crazy epic recording studio that they're going to in June. And John Gray is like over the moon about it. And so they're doing really well right now. That's awesome. I've never really played any of their stuff on stream. I have once in a while, but the reason why I haven't played any of their music on stream is because I'm a hard ass and none of their stuff that's out right now has their actual permanent female singer on it. So I refuse to play any of that because their stuff on their new album that's coming out is the stuff that really demonstrates the band now. And the stuff that's out right now doesn't demonstrate the band now. So that's why I haven't played any of it. In fact, I just skip it all because I'm just like, nope, because my standards are here and I see them here and I'm not going to play the stuff from years ago. So that's why. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. You want them to be at their best. Oh, yeah, and I know they are really good at what they do, and I don't think stuff that they have out right now demonstrates where they are right now, because where they are right now is really awesome. And their music before, it's really good, but now, like, because I've heard their newer recordings, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll definitely play this on stream after, but this is why I've been spoiled by the newest stuff. Oh, sure. Is the singer you saw the main one? Yeah, Dragon. So there's Mandy. Mandy is their other female backup vocalist, but the other female backup vocalists that have sang on the last two albums are like, they were like burning through like female singers. Like because I've noticed that in a band, most of the female singers are huge divas and they were just being problematic. So they had to go. And the one that they have now has been actually in the band. She double dips. So she's a horn player. And then when she stops playing horn, she'll go up on the microphone and start singing. And then she'll go back and play horn. And so like everybody in that band is multi-talented. So some people can play drums, some people can play bass, some people can actually sing, some people can play keys, and like they can all rotate. Like I thought that'd be a cool thing to do on stream, is to do like a punishment where they all play and then like you could roll a wheel and then everyone has to switch instruments and play. I was like, yeah, this is something that everyone can do in this band. But yeah, Mandy, who's the vocalist they have now, I absolutely love her. She's been in the band since like close to the first generation of players, and she meshes well with everybody. She knows exactly how to handle touring with that large amount of people. Because in a band, it's way different. You actually have to depend on other people, which kind of drives me crazy, because with cosplay stuff, like it's just me and David. Like it's easy. There's less miscommunication. There's less schedules to go through. Like with a band with like 8 or 9 people, like that's so hard. You have to go through 8 or 9 people's lives in order to schedule stuff right. Like it's crazy. Yeah, that sounds, well, I can only imagine what it would be like touring, nor also what it would be like traveling with as much stuff as that you must travel with. That's why I'm glad when I go, they only expect me to come dressed as me. So that's, to be honest, I probably wouldn't make that, have a good ideas for a costume. Look, I went as a guy from The Division, which meant I went to Home Depot. So that would be about it for my cosplay. But well, yeah, and then you get people at TwitchCon, they're like, why aren't you dressed up? I'm like, let me travel one time a year with one suitcase. Travel with one suitcase. I don't want to cry about my costume. Like Kinpatsu, she does the Sister of Battle from Warhammer. I almost said World of Warcraft. I just watched her Instagram story. TSA like smashed a bottle of red paint in her bag, and it got red paint all over her faux fur. And she's like, I gotta try to make this look like fake blood or dirt or something because they just ruined this costume. It's the only way I can swing it. And I'm like, welcome to why I don't like traveling with cosplay, because they just smash your shit. I have anxiety attacks on planes because of that.
Oh yeah, when you
Sister of Battle costume is elaborate.
Yeah, wasn't that the one you traveled to Mexico with, and you were like having a anxiety about when you
Costa Rica was the Dragon Skull thing. Yeah, man, if you want to start your own Heroes of Cosplay show, and you want drama, and you want the most drama of all time, film a cosplayer trying to take their costume across the country, because that's a roller coaster of emotions. Like, I didn't have TSA pre at the time, so I had to go through the regular line to get through TSA, which was, you can look at in the Orlando airport, they have a ETA up top, and it said 2 hours and 45 minutes for fucking TSA. Only 2 lines were open, and this lady that was at the kiosk was like, like when I went to go drop my bags off, she goes, no boxes. And I had it professionally wrapped from FedEx. Certified everything, receipts, everything, taped with the FedEx official paper, tape, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, it said online that you could bring 1 Christmas tree per person. I read online, 1 Christmas tree. This box is not even the size of a Christmas tree. So you mean to tell me no boxes? I didn't say that. She would probably got nasty with me, but I didn't say. I looked it up online and it said it was okay. She's acting like it's not. And so she's mad. So she tells me to unbox my item in there, and I pull it out, and it's that dragon skull that I made with the freaking headdress of feathers all the way down the back. And she's like, you can't bring that here. And I was like, okay. She goes, what is it? I'm like, it's a headdress. And she goes, you can't bring that to Costa Rica. And I was like, why? And she goes, just because it's not going to fit. And I was like, what the fuck? And she goes, I was like, do I have to hand carry this then? Because I will. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do, because I've come this far. I stayed up 2 nights in a row making this thing, and this whole trip, like, this was the costume that we were going to shoot there, and I had no idea what to do. And it's about a 20-minute run to the car to put it in the car, because the least I was going to do is put it in the car so I would shoot it later with David and not just trash it. She goes, what's it made out of? And I was like, it's made out of armature wire. And she goes, oh, that's a bomb. In the middle of the fucking airport, she says that. And then everyone's like looking at me. I'm like, it's not a bomb. It's armature wire. They use it in puppeteering all the time. It's what provides structure for the thing. I didn't say any kind of weird, sketchy wire. And she goes, well, ask TSA if they can bring it, but I'm not going to let it pass through. And I had a box, like a FedEx box, like with all the paper, the brown paper in there. And it's like, the guy used a lot. He made sure that thing was going nowhere in that box. So now I had this giant box. I didn't know what to do with it in the middle of the airport. So I look over at her and I go, what do I do with this box now? And she looks at her stupid trash can that's like this tall. And I'm like, don't do that. And she goes, just leave it somewhere. I'm like, so not only did you just tell me to unbox it, you just told me to leave a giant box unattended in the middle of an airport after you said bomb really loud. I was like, I need to speak to your supervisor. Like, I need your supervisor right here, right now. I cannot. And I said this, literally, I said this. I was like, I cannot deal with you. I need a supervisor. Oh. And then everybody was like freaking out.
I'm touching
but the supervisor comes over and he goes like, so another thing that I do is I pack an extra suitcase because most of the time something is out of the weight limit. So I have to shift things over. So this guy, the supervisor, takes one of my bags and weighs it and goes, oh, your bag's overweight. And I was like, okay. So I go to grab it to unzip it to put more in the other bag and the other suitcase. And he goes, I'll waive it since you had so much of a problem today. And I was like, I didn't even need your kindness. I just didn't need it. And he was just like, I was like, I want that lady fired. She made me cry. She's a terrible person. And then he's like, oh, I'll deal with this box. Don't worry about it. And so I'm like looking at the ETA for the TSA thing. And they're saying that I have to go through the TSA line and I have to ask them. And if they turn me back, I have to either I have to do something. Like, I have to leave. I have to wait in line for TSA for 3 hours to get a no. And I probably will miss my flight if I run back to the car to put it in to get back in TSA line again. So I was like, what do I do here? What do I do? So all I did was I just tweeted, screaming, crying, freaking out. And then I go through TSA and I put my dragon skull down on the conveyor belt. It goes through. They stopped John Gray, pat him down. He had a water bottle in his backpack. They jumped on him. They probed him. They checked him. But me with my armature wire skull dragon, they were like, here, get this off of this conveyor belt. They didn't even give me a problem. And I was just like, oh my God. So then I had to catch another flight 3 weeks later to go to Boston. And I'm bringing a FedEx box again. And I'm walking through the line and I beeline stare at the woman who's checking my bags. And I stare at her and I'm like, can I bring my box? And she's like, yeah. And she just puts it on the conveyor belt and it goes. And I go, thank you. And I start crying. And then I leave and I was like, oh my God, cool. What the hell was that lady's problem? Like, you could have got so much TLC reality TV show content out of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like an emotional roller coaster. I would.
It was his. Let's
see. So, what do you have coming up immediately that you want people to know about, and coming up in the next couple of months or next couple of weeks?
I'm going to Japan for.
Well, yes, that's right.
Yeah. My brain is like, Japan. That's where you're going. Don't worry about anything else right now. So that's where my brain's at. I just finished one of my passion projects. So right now I'm kind of dry on passion ideas, I guess. Like, I don't really have anything that I'm like giddy and freaking out about. I mean, I am going to be working Shepherd, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to get invested in any kind of project before I leave for Japan, because I don't want my brain to constantly be thinking about what's at home right now. Because it will, and I know that. So I really want to go over and like have a vacation and not think about it, you know. Like I'm right now I'm working on like getting all my store MV orders out. I caught up on all Patreon stuff. David and I basically shout out a lot of content, and we've hoarded a lot of content right now, so that when I go to Japan, Patreon will have posts no matter what. And then David can have a little bit of a break, and I can have a little bit of a break. But you can't tell based off of Patreon at all, because we have scheduled posts up, so it's really cool. So that's going to still always be going, which is amazing. I'm lucky that David and I get to work that well together. But not trying to think of anything else other than that. I'm going to be finishing Shepherd. The goal is to have it done by MegaCon. And the only reason why we haven't been working on that on stream is right now I'm at the phase where I need to get the jumpsuit, and then I need to get the backpack straps and figure out what connects to where. And that's not something that I can easily stream, because it's going to require me standing up. I need like 2 other people in the room to help me, and I might get stressed out doing that. And I don't want you guys to see me being like, no, John Gray, you're wrong. Like, or no, you're wrong. Like, I don't think you need to see that. We're going to be working on a Darth Talon very soon from Star Wars. And right now I got to pattern that out, and I'm kind of loose about planning that one out, because once again, I don't want to get too attached before I leave, because I leave in like less than 3 weeks. So that's that. I am a guest at MegaCon, and I'll be there all of the days. Fortunately, it's 4 days long, because that's too long. That's too long for a con. Cons don't need to be 4 days long. Whoever's making this thing, they're going to slowly, like in the next couple of years, they're going to be 5 days long. That's too much. That's a lot. But I'll be there. And I'll have prints, and I'll have a booth at the Cosplay Alley, and that's about it. I don't think I'm going to be working on anything too elaborate. Like yesterday, I was like looking at it on Pinterest. I was looking at designs, and I know I missed the train for that, but I've been looking at some Mad Max kind of costumes, and I'm like, oh, what if I did like a Mad Max-esque kind of apocalyptic thing that was like super detailed though? So I was like looking at some of the designs, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. Getting tired of tribal, getting tired of the Ivy things, because David was like, just finish Summer Ivy. I'm like, I don't want to work with another goddamn flower for another 2 months. Okay, I'm so sick of it. I don't want to look at that. No, I'm not doing Tracer Jedi. Get out of here.
Well, I mean, as far as it goes with the Mad Max thing, you could definitely, with the Rage 2 coming out, that might be a nice segue into that, because that's going to be something that's going to be taking place in like the Mad Max-esque setting. So, I mean, there would
I
definitely
played Rage 2 at E3, actually.
Right.
And it was really fun. It was really fun.
So, I mean, that might be a perfect excuse for you to kind of think about that in the future.
Wait, Tracer's voice acted by Jennifer Hale? Oh, no, Ash. Oh, yeah, Ash. Ash is. Ash is pretty cool now.
But aside from that, I mean, so what are you excited about seeing in Japan?
We're going to, let me tell you, we're going to 3 different cities in, Japan. We're going to Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. We're probably going to be going to a punk show in Japan. I don't know what band yet. We're going to do karaoke because that's what you do there. We're going to do onsen. We're going to go to a cosplay store. We're going to go to the Ghibli Museum. We're going to go to the Akihabara. We're going to do Mount Fuji. And we're going to go to Shibuya is on this list. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to do that. Then that's when we're in Tokyo. And then in Kyoto, we're going to do the Kyoto Castle. We're going to go to Nara. We're going to hang out with the deers that walk up to you. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's deers in Japan that actually walk up to you and they bow their heads before they approach you.
Oh yeah, no, I have actually.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. We're going to hang out with deers. We're going to go to the Didi Gumo in Kyoto. I don't know how I'm going to say all these things wrong. We're going to go to the Gion district, so that's where all the geishas are. And then we're going to go to the Torii Gate Mountain. And then in Osaka, we're going to go to the Osaka Castle. And then I put in the list. I'm reading off a Google document that everybody wants to do together in Japan. We're actually going to, in Osaka, no one really picked things to do. So I picked those. So we're going to the Osaka Castle. And then we're going to go to the Osaka Aquarium, which is the world's largest aquarium on record, like completely and utterly the biggest aquarium. They have 6 whale sharks inside one tank. There's a huge bitch of an aquarium, and I'm really interested in that aquarium because they're also associated with the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which has an open water aquarium that's huge and has its own currents in it, and it's incredible. They have sailfish in there, and like they have tuna fish in there, like fish that don't usually do well in aquariums are like thriving in there. They also did a research program where they were going to have the first great white shark in captivity, but they can't figure out why great white sharks can't survive in captivity. So they've had great white. I think the longest living great white shark lived in the Osaka aquarium for about 6 months before it died, and that's in that whale shark tank. That's the one where the great white shark was living in. I think this is really cool. I like sharks. And then I'm going to Thailand right after, and I'm going to Phuket just to see my half brother, and we're gonna go to the Fiji Islands. Or Fifi Islands, whatever, James Bond Island. There's a James Bond Island. We're going to go there. James Bond Island, crazy. It looks like there's rocks that are floating everywhere. And then I'm going straight back up to Bangkok for 2 days, and I'm going to go to a temple in Bangkok, and then I'm going to go to a sky bar, and then I'm flying from Bangkok to Seoul in Korea, and then from Korea I'm going back home. So I'm excited. I'm going to be so jet lagged and so tired. No, Phuket, Phucket, not fuck it.
JMB. But yeah, that sounds like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Well, I guess in closing, I'd like to just say, is there anything you want people to know before we end? Anything you want to shout out?
I'm seeing Captain Marvel after stream. That's it. That's all I wanted everybody.
That's awesome. That's good.
I'm finally seeing it. Also, that I love you guys and thank you for coming in.
That is doubly so for me. Thank you everybody for coming to hang out with us. Thank you very much, Danica, for being a guest on. You are actually our first official streamed guest with us, so I really appreciate that. And so I'm gonna throw it to you. Hello, Australia. I want to throw it to you. Who would you like to host? As I always end my streams and my podcasts,
Oh,
I like to throw the love on to somebody, pass it on, as I say, to somebody
oh,
that's a friend. So, who would you
fair.
like to host today?
Who is live right now?
I'm touching myself tonight.
Oh, yes. We have to raid or host.
We can raid.
Okay.
That's the coolest name ever!
The Rebel Tiger. This guy is one of my friend's fiancés. He's really cool. He's also one of my friends. He's awesome. Rebel Tiger has started streaming. He's been doing really, really well lately. Pretty impressed. He's hung out on the channel before. He's done a lot of streams that like allows the chat to punish him. Where he did a Resident Evil run where he muted his own desktop audio for him, but you guys could hear it, and he couldn't hear any zombies coming at him, and the chat had to warn him, and it was fantastic. And he's playing Sekiro, but he honestly deserves some love.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's go over there. So everybody, join us for a raid, and I got to remember the raid command. I think it's /raid.
Yeah, /raid.
So we're gonna go over and raid the Rebel Tiger. I want to thank you, everybody. Especially, first of all, thank you again, Danica, for being a guest, and thank you, everybody. Special shout out to Dragon for being our guest mod for the day. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for everybody coming to hang out. We will be back tomorrow night. I'm doing a hobby roundup, so that is the next podcast.
Oh, what the fuck?
So we're gonna be doing that tomorrow night, and so that'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we're going to go raid the Rebel Tiger. So everybody, please join us. Hold on. And all right. So thank you once again, and have a fantastic night.
That was amazing.
Here we go.
Son of a bitch. I've never seen bullshit of that.
He might not see the raid because he's on a
from
console.
A physical attack. I mean,
That's
other
fine.
than